Greetings, everybody. Hi. The message of Palm Sunday. How do you relate? In the Christian traditions, the beginning of Holy Week, and for others around the world, a different week, a different message. It was interesting to me as I prepared this to look at what some of the rituals and celebrations and that are around the world, and to uplift those, to allow those, and to not make my traditions the best way or the only way. And that is one of my messages for today. That whatever are my practices, my traditions, my faith rituals, my reflections and contemplations are for me to live from my own spiritual kingdom and to be the cause and the creator of my own spiritual kingdom, which I believe was the message of Jesus on this particular day, Palm Sunday. And so that the lesson of Palm Sunday, as Jesus entered Jerusalem that day, according to the scripture and the passages there, that Jesus did not come to establish an earthly kingdom, but a spiritual kingdom. So, what does that call me to? What does that call you for? Particularly with our binds and our attachments and our preferences about the earthly plane. So I was moved by this particular part of scripture, which I included in the descriptions today from Corinthians, 2 Corinthians chapter 4. So we do not lose heart. So we do not lose heart. Though our outer nature is wasting away, our inner nature is being renewed day by day. Our inner nature, our infinite, eternal nature is being renewed. And in this time of spring, which brings proof of life, of renewals, of restoration, of rejuvenation, of uplift, of reiterations, the next iterations of ourselves, even as our outer nature is wasting away, our inner nature is truly being renewed. For this slight moment we call life, for this slight momentary affliction, whatever it may be, is all preparing for us an eternal weight of glory, an eternal weight of liberation, of freedom, of infinity, beyond all comparison, beyond anything we have known or can know or believe we know. And as we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, and the things that are unseen are eternal. 2 Corinthians. So we do not lose heart. Though our outer nature is wasting away, our inner nature is being renewed day by day. For any slight momentary affliction is preparing us for an eternity, an infinity of glory beyond all comparison. As we look not to the things that are seen, but to the things that are unseen. For the things that are seen are transient, and the things that are unseen are eternal. That brings some kind of deep relief for me. So then the message is then to turn our heart toward eternity, toward infinity, toward what is true, what cannot be threatened. A heart toward our devotions, our contemplations, our practices, and to know that in certainty, whatever created us, God or whatever you call it, has a heart for us, and that our heart is actually that heart, one heart, that we're always working toward healing our minds, our belief systems, our false notions, our worldviews, our way of life, our divisiveness, and that in all of it, the light, the love, the power, the peace, the presence of God is as us, through us, for us, with us. Thank God. Thank goodness. So, in this Holy Week, then, that we enter into, and whatever that means to you, and whether it's a Christian Holy Week, then it can be entering a Holy Week because I've declared it to be a Holy Week. And some of us are looking at holy moments and making our moments more holy. Then our week is made more holy through our decision for it to be more holy in whatever context we hold for that. And it's pretty easy to get caught up and get a little bit fussy in this particular week, if we lose track of our details or our whys or our what fors on what does this actually mean to me, and redetermining that. So not trying to do it an old way or traditional way or somebody else's way, but getting clear and responsible for ourselves and our own evolution of our thinking, the own evolution of our own spirit, our own souls, our own resurrection, to say, I've got to be constantly reminded of the significance of my life. The significance that something created me, something put me here, and had something in mind as me, exactly as I am, and that is breathing me, that is expressing me, and is ever, 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 always and always available to me, for me, as me, to the degree that I align, that I atone. So, this invitation again today for true atonement, at one-ment, to become one with that infinity, one with that eternity, and awake and aware, aligned, atone to that the physical, what is seen, is impermanent, is wasting away, will, and what is true, what is real, cannot and won't. So, in the midst of our busy, 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 busy lives, on the heels of schools and colleges and jobs and families and spring breaks and Easter bunnies and Easter egg hunts and trips and travel and whatever else is going on during this rejuvenation energy of this high spring, to find real meaning in it, maybe for the first time. That to be intentional in how I want Holy Week to be, and how I want to be in Holy Week differently than I may have before. So this spiritual renewal, a spiritual renewal. So not here to establish more earthly kingdom, but spiritual kingdom. And in the spiritual renewal, to make choices that will affect how I am in the world, to make choices that will affect and uplift my relationships, all of them, that will renew the fulfillment I have in my job or profession or vocation. And someone told me once, like, Martha, one of your superpowers is your vocation is your advocation. So, what if our vocations became more of an advocation? And that our expectations, this is a time, I've read and read about this over the years and the energy around Palm Sunday and the messages, and 100% of them speak about expectations. The expectations we have, the expectations that the people had for Jesus and about him, his life, and what could be fulfilled and what could not be fulfilled. And it's an important message for me today as I think about the heap, the demands, and the expectations, the false expectations, the unrealistic expectations I have on myself to be something I am not, or to do things I simply can't do. And then the false expectations I displace onto others, my family, for them to be different than they are, what they cannot, will not, and shouldn't do because they can't. It's not reality based. The expectations I have on other people, the expectations that people are going to keep commitments, expectations that people are going to keep their word, expectations that systems are going to be accurate. Somebody shared a story this week about they had a change in their job, and their job title was changed, and who they reported to changed. And when it came time for Friday, they didn't get a paycheck. And then they realized that somehow in the system, whoever was their former boss had to approve their pay, and they was no longer their boss. And the new boss didn't have access to the system to approve their pay. So I expect systems to be accurate and 100% on track all the time. And what an inconvenience when I don't get my pay on Friday. And my holy moment wasn't much of a holy moment then, because I had a holy tantrum because it didn't go as I expected, didn't go as I had counted on. So, what is the message here for you? What expectations do you have that you can uplift, that you can do something about it today? So, if I expect my taxes to be done on time, I need to get them to the accountant. And if I expect them to be accurate and to be done right the first time, I need to provide all the information for that. Expectations. I expect my family to still believe the way they believe when I get up there next week. That I won't go into my family thinking that they've had a transformation since I was up there last month. So I've prepared a spiritual kingdom. I am preparing a spiritual kingdom to be with differences, to be with disagreements, to be with criticisms, to be different in the world when I get cut off in traffic, to be different when we get messages of stage 4 diagnosis and somebody's passing, the sudden deaths of our friends and our friends' families, our colleagues, grounded in spiritual practice. So each day, each moment of each day of each week, holy. Every moment, a holy choice. So, what will direct a moment to be holy moment or unholy moment? Holy moment or hissy fit moment? A choice. A choice to build spiritual kingdom, to expand my territory in spiritual queendomhood. What will you do differently during this Holy Week? What will you loosen in the earthly kingdom and expand in a spiritual kingdom? Where does your power lie in creating and embodying a Christ consciousness? The message of Holy Week, the message of Easter. For those of us longing to find grounding in divine love, particularly during uncertain times and uncertain days, and to explore Unity's contemplative practices to help us build spiritual kingdom, to open our hearts, to open our minds to God's infinite, loving presence. So, what will it take for us to reach for what is reaching for us? So, our human preferences that are binary thinking has kept us from seeing what is there, to actually completely exclude our old notions, our old BS, our old belief systems, our previous ideas, moods, and an older, worn out consciousness, so that we grow best now. We resurrect today, are born again today in a holy time by including it all, including what we have learned from the past. It taught us how to do it. It taught us how not to do it. It taught us what leaves us feeling better. It taught us what leaves us feeling with regret, to do more of one and less of the other, and to keep our rebellious selves and our reactive selves in some kind of check, more spiritually grounded, which demands both a humility and an interrupting of these patterns that the old slash and burn creates more and more of the violence we claim we want to end in the world. Our either or thinking continues to create mistrust and disjunctions and more divisiveness and polarization that is extremely consequential, not only to ourselves, but to our families, our systems, our world, our tribes, our communities, our neighborhoods. So, more and more practice in non-violent compromise, necessary to include both and, for transformation, for transcendence, which is at the core of our wisdom to do this. Some part of us knows to do this and sees it as an option. And our power of choice, our power of free will is then free to say, what will I choose here? In this interaction, what will I choose? In this exchange, what am I going to choose? In my response, what am I going to choose? So, to the degree that we can rightly achieve an integration, the both and, that includes some disorder. So, disorder, reorder, new order, and some allowance for the old to fade away, to waste away, and for what is true and what is infinite and eternal, knowing in faith and in certainty, it cannot. So, prayers that we're not closed off today, closed off anymore from the power and the presence, the light, the love of God that is ever present in and for each and every one of us. So I pray for and with you today in this holy moment and in this holy week, the light of God surrounds us. The light of God surrounds you. The love of God enfolds you. The power of God protects you. The presence of God watches over you. Wherever you are, whatever it is you're experiencing, God is. God is there. God is here. God is. I am. I am that I am. You are that. Namaste. Blessings. Holy, holy moment. Blessings. MarthaCreek.com to contact me if there's any way in the world I can serve you.